Welcome back to Surface Unscripted. I'm not sure if I want to do this episode because, like, Brevin, I was saying, you're not going to win in Cape Town. 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 You are in Cape Town. You know?
Yeah.
I don't think there's much to be said about the game. Let's move on to the Six Nations.
Nah, bro. Nah.
Welcome back to Surface Unscripted, episode 176. Listen, we're going to chat yours. There was a massive game for the URC, or well, for us South Africans, Stormers versus the Bulls. We'll obviously have a chat about that. I don't even want to wear my jersey at the moment. And then we'll chat about the Six Nations that we also just witnessed. Brevin, it feels like we have to say welcome back again because this is the first time in a long time that we're doing a Monday episode, isn't it? Like, what, in 4 weeks? Is it the first one of the year? I'm not even sure.
Yeah. Life always hits us with crazy, busy curveballs. But, yeah, keen to get a Monday one out. I'm sure that people will be, well, the ones that are invested will be excited. And, yeah, I mean, crazy weekend of rugby, like, super crazy. I think we learned a lot. Some controversial things, some shock results. Yeah, just a crazy weekend all in all, and it was great. So,
bro, the thing is, it was a weekend, right? That we expected a lot, and it wasn't necessarily the greatest rugby, but it was a great watch. Like, you sat after the game, and you're like, "What did I just witness?" You just didn't really understand what you just witnessed. And then, obviously, for us as South Africans, we're happy. Driekus du Plessis also won, retained his title. Mumbai, Cape Town, my Cape Town finally won it, right? After placing like last, while we're always the favorite in the cricket, finally won the tournament as well. So, anyway, let's stop talking shit and actually jump into it. People, do remember to hit that like and subscribe button. We do appreciate your love and support.
Yeah.
Brevin, you won in Cape Town. Let me just say it. I'll give you the floor. What did you think about it?
It was a very, what a weird game. Like, I actually don't have words for the game. It was definitely a game where, like, my emotions, that roller coaster of emotions, I can't explain it. Like, it was brutal. It was like, I was so angry at the end when you guys scored. And then when I saw the clock ticking and the ref said 10 seconds, and I was like, oh, flip. And then he was, like, still setting up, and I was like, wait a second, there's no ways he misses this, right? And he missed, and I was like, what? Because I thought it was over. I was like, fair play, Stormers, you've pulled it off. And
bro, I was in the stadium, and from my angle, I thought that was straight down the middle. I was celebrating, and then like, bro, you don't even understand it, right? We were celebrating, and then like 2 minutes later, we look at the clock, and we're like, well, the score didn't go up. What's going on? We didn't even realize he missed it.
Bro,
we feel a bit embarrassed, but I mean,
the kicking display from both teams was abysmal. Like, it is so poor. Like, I can give David Creel some leniency because he's not supposed to be a kicker. He's literally just taking over a job that, because Willie can't kick off the tee and
sitters.
Exactly. He still
Frans Herbe would have put over.
Exactly. But it was just dismal, right? But yeah, I mean, obviously, look, I'm super happy with the win. I think it's been so long since we won in Cape Town. But I have to agree with a lot of like the takes on the game. I think it was a very much, both teams lacked in a lot of areas, in my opinion. I thought the defense from both sides was quite poor. I mean, a shout out to Cam Honeycomb again for performing.
Bro, he had like 150% game or like a 12% game.
Yeah, like
it was either like that first touch of the ball, and we had like 10 missed tackles on the guy, right? And then right after, he knocks it. He left his hands at home, right? But when he took it, the odd chance that he actually caught the ball, it was damage. And it was a threat at the breakdown every single time. It pissed me off so much watching that game. Like, I jinxed myself. I said I've never seen my team lose live. I've never walked out with that shame, right? And having like Bulls scum right there is got to be one of the most annoying things, right? Um, I said it on my TikTok, right? Like, obviously, you guys missed a 2 conversion, or you missed a penalty and a conversion, right? That's the 5 points.
Who?
But the kicks that David Creel.
No, he missed 3. He missed 2 conversions.
No, but I'm talking about the 2 sitters that he missed.
Yeah, fair.
Right? And we missed, like, the way that Clayton Blommetjies and Yuri Mathieu kicked. I was like, I swear, I said it on my TikTok. I swear these guys are on the Titanic the way that they're just sinking us here at the moment. Like, it was a dreadful display of kicking. And that and the defense, right? Like, I heard Dobbo coming out after the game. And I understand that we have injuries, right? Like, I do understand. But I'm not going to piss about and say, listen, we lost that game due to injuries. Injuries didn't cause us to slip every single tackle.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. What was going on at some points in that defense? Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, it wasn't even the structure. It was literally just missed tackle after missed tackle after missed tackle after missed tackle. The knock-ons. The Stormers have this, like, phobia of catching the ball. I don't know what, if we have some sensitive hands or whatever, right? And the lineouts again. How good did it feel to watch your boys absolutely anal us in the scrum?
The scrum was insane. I didn't expect it to be that dominant because usually a Stormers Bulls game, both teams tend to not give very early and you do see a bit of a battle. But this time, I mean, jeepers, Jan-Hendrik Wessels, I know he went off early, but his first couple scrums against Francois Haber was brutal.
I was sitting there in my seat telling Francie to get off my lap. Like, what is going on? Bro,
and also credit has to be given to Volko Low as well. I don't think people realize how he's so good. Like,
he's a massive human being.
He's huge, and he weighs a lot of meat. He's full of meat, literally. But yeah, I think that's where we I think physically we won the battle essentially, and I think you guys that Warwick Land try. Oh my gosh, like. That was saucy. Like, the play there looked like there was
what the idea is, but that's also what makes it so annoying, right? Because we see the Stormers playing patches, like all the time. It's patches, whether it's at the start of the game or the end of the game. Like, to go home ground and like concede the first try already and be 7-0 down, for instance, or whatever, right? Like, right off the bat, it dampens the crowd. The crowd was alive, you know. There's so many Bulls fans, like, it felt like they were playing at home as
even
well.
When we play the Stormers at Loftus, it's always just like, it's
50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but I mean, like, it felt like I was watching that game, and the Bulls gave us so many opportunities to win that game. The Bulls really did try and give us that game. And the Stormers were like, I refuse. I want you to win this game. And... like, I don't want to name drop the guys. I'm not going to name drop the guys because we all know, like, we have eyes watching it stink out every single time. And in my mind, I'm just, there's literally Imad Khan is right there. Some of these guys are really past it. Imad Khan is right there. JC Mars is right there. Luke Berger, he's right there. But are we playing rinse and repeat the same shit? The old guys. Why do they... That's going to be harsh. I was going to ask, like, why do some of these people still have contracts, right? I don't want to just throw them in the bin or whatever. But play the young guys. These young guys for the Western Province are cooking at academy level and stuff. What do they still need to do? Look at Paul de Villiers, who's been brilliant from the bench. How long have I been calling for that guy? And finally he got his opportunity, and now he's playing consistent rugby. Like, seriously, just back some of the younger guys coming through. Oh, it's so frustrating because you know the Bulls weren't there. The Bulls were there for the taking. We should have won that game if you look at the way that the Bulls didn't step up to the plate. And the Stormers just said, yeah, we don't want to step up to the plate either. We don't want to step up even more. Yeah. We don't want to win even more than you. Like, that's how it felt watching that shit.
It was basically just a game of, if you look at it, individual brilliance, right? Ake van der Merwe with that crazy, like, slap out of Herschel Yankee's hand, catches the ball before it bounces, makes it all the way to the 5 meter, and then we go and score from there.
Yeah, if that doesn't work, that's a penalty against him because he just slapped it, right? Didn't he?
No, he caught the ball.
No. If that's what I'm saying, like if he didn't catch the ball,
yeah, it's a penalty.
Right.
It should be a penalty if I'm not
you
mistaken.
can't just slap the ball out of the hand.
Yeah. And then Cam Honeycomb, first takeoff, kickoff, makes a statement. And then that brilliant team try from the start. Like I said, it was just a bunch of like individualness, you know. But ultimately, look, I'm gonna
You
be
started
happy.
off both halves so strong, like immediate tries in the first half and in the second half.
I said to myself when I was watching the game, I said, we've started really well, which actually scares me because the Bulls don't necessarily always start very like out the blocks well. They kind of get a feel for the game and build into it. But yeah, we started superbly, and then kind of just faded away. I think that's what the Bulls lack is just putting up an 80-minute performance. You know, they're always good in patches, maybe sometimes like 50, 60 minutes, and then there's a 20-minute patch where they go brain dead. And it happened against the Stormers again. But like you said, I think both teams kind of wanted each other to take it. And eventually the Bulls were lucky that Blommetjies missed the kick so that they could take it. But yeah, not much more to say on it. I think it's always going to be a tight North-South derby. And 1st of March, they go again at Loftus. So that's 3 weeks. Yeah, somewhere there.
You want to move on to the Six Nations?
Let's go for it.
Let's do it. I remember the timestamps last time. Well, pretty late, but
We'll remember
it this time. Anyway, let's talk about last night's game because that was an absolute thriller. Like, were both teams at the races? No. Both teams were probably like at 50%. But that's what made the game absolutely beautiful. England beating France by a single point after the previous time they met at Twickenham, right? They got beat so bad they had to change the stadium's name. 53 points to 10. They changed it to the Alien Stadium, and they get the victory, the revenge against the French. What was the end score? Why can't I remember?
I think it was 26-25 to England.
Yeah. What a game, huh, Brevan?
Yeah. I think we learned a lot. I definitely think France were nowhere near their best. And that could obviously be credit to England. I think they hung in there. Look, there were some DuPont knock-ons, unnecessary. A lot of finishing that the French just didn't do. I think the French defended quite terribly, if I'm quite honest. I thought they slipped a lot of important tackles.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think Marcus Smith had a phenomenal game at 15, and then Finn Smith had an even better game at 10, right? It was just... so that ended up actually working. But yeah, it was just a crazy game in general, right? Because you think France have got it at the end there with 5 minutes to go, and then the man we were like, why is he even on the team sheet? Goes and scores the winning try. Great line from him, to be fair, Elliot Daly. And boom, that's all she writes. You know, they go and win. So,
Riven, I'm going to give you the crux of it, right? Like, France defense, bad. England defense, not bad. France attack, good, but not clinical. England defense, not very. England attack, not very, very good attack, but very clinical. That was basically it, right? The French, right? That 4 like obvious try-scoring opportunities that should have been tries. They butchered it themselves. Like you look at that DuPont knock-on in that in the first half.
Yeah.
Mavaka does exactly the same thing, right? Also open try line.
I think
knocks it.
Louis Bill Beret as well also knocked on quite a simple pass. They were playing it through the back line and just stupid errors, right? Because the guys
it's the DuPont one, it's the Mavaka one. Peno drops one as well.
Yeah.
And then you look at Tomo Ramos, right? He's got a foot race between Louis Bill Beret and Benel, and he scuffs the kick when we all knew Louis Bill Beret was winning that foot race, right? But he scuffs it completely. That is, in my opinion, 4 guaranteed tries that they just absolutely threw away, the French. Like truly binned it away. I was not really that impressed by Marcus Smith at 15 because he didn't get tested at 15, right? I'm like, the French are known for their kicking game, not necessarily the high ball game. How many times did Marcus Smith have to take the ball out of there? They did not put up a single bomb on that guy. Not a single one. They literally played into the English hands to a T. But I don't want to take away anything from England, right? Like, this is not, I'm not saying this disrespectfully. I was so impressed by the English defense. Like, Tom Curry, and then Ben Curry when he came on, sensational. Ben Earl was amazing once again. Finn Smith, what a man of the match performance that was. Like, I was going to give him man of the match as well. I was truly impressed. Ollie Lawrence, once again, just doing like, he does work like he's a Lucy, just gets around and does it all. Yeah. Tommy Freeman was out of this world. But in my head, I'm looking at it 2 ways where it's like, well done to England, just like survival mode and a nitty-gritty performance to get it done. But then on the other end, I'm like, that scoreline should have never been like that. France literally threw it. France should kick themselves for it. Like, I'm on 2 ends of it where it's like, France, you definitely should have won that game because France were the better team, in my opinion. They just couldn't finish it.
Yeah.
And then, but England was like, they never gave up and scored it in the end.
Yeah, I mean, that's the name of the game, right? I think learning to survive in moments like that where your backs are against the wall and you kind of just, you have no answers, but all you can do is just put your body on the line and kind of defend as best you can. And that's what England did, right? I think their defense has been sharp. No, we did criticize it in the past, but like, we've seen a lot of improvements in their defense, right? And that's credit to them. And as well, I think we expected France to not necessarily to win comfortably, but we expected them to not make it look like it was going to
France by 29 points.
I didn't say that, but yeah.
Well, if you add those tries, it should have been that.
Yeah, but ultimately, right, I think, here's the question. Do you think for England that this is now a momentum gainer, or do you think this is just false hope?
That's always the question, right? Because it's the same question you ask when Argentina wins a game.
They beat the Irish last year, and it kind of, I don't think it catapulted them to anything, if that makes sense.
You know what the problem is, Brevan? It's that we ask the same question with Argentina when they usually win a game. We ask the same question when England does it.
England
they have these moments. They have these moments that they win games, right? But the issue with this England victory for me, right? Like, obviously for them, they would hope they kick on, but there's a bye week now. So now it's everyone's going to be behind the team, and it's like, okay, well, who they're playing next weekend? We're not playing next weekend. So now it dampens a bit of that momentum, which they could have probably taken up to go and play that Kolkata Cup, because that's what the game that they got next. Scotland, we'll talk about that game in a second, right? Scotland's not looking great. It's not looking great there. That Kolkata Cup is coming straight back. I looked at Scotland today, right? And I was like, how did Italy not beat them? I was not impressed at all. That's why I predicted Scotland in 5th. But obviously they beat Italy now, so now it doesn't matter. Do I reckon that they're going to kick on? I don't know. I do believe that England will win the Kolkata Cup.
Here's another question, right? France get the job done somehow against... we don't need to say somehow. If France are at their best against an Irish at their best, it's a very competitive game. If France get it done against Ireland...
At the Viva.
Yeah, if they do get it done, do you back England to do enough to win the Six Nations?
No, because they don't have the bonus points.
Did they not get a bonus point last night?
No.
Oh, yeah, true.
They've got 4 points. They've got 6 points. Did they get the bonus point last night? Maybe they did.
I think they did. Because they're on 6, right? That's 1 point against Ireland and now 5.
Yeah, they didn't kick a single penalty, you're right, and they got 26. So that's the 4 try. So they got a 5-pointer there. That is massive.
And they're done with the big boys. It's now
and they got a losing bonus point against Ireland as well. That 2 tries at the end. Oh my word! Imagine the scenes.
Just, dude, it's just being put out there. That's all. Like, I'm not saying Ireland should be losing. I think Ireland probably do go and beat France, but imagine if they don't, and the French do it by, like, let's say 10 points, and the Irish don't pick up a bonus point or something. I'm just saying it makes it interesting.
But then you're forcing England to kind of beat everyone else with bonus points as well.
I think they do. Why wouldn't they?
They haven't even beat Scotland in the past 5 years.
Scotland will be without Tuplatu, Finn Russell.
No, Finn Russell will be back. That was a head knock.
But it's still a concussion. That's 2 weeks. 2 weeks is too short. You have 3 weeks to come back, if I'm not mistaken.
No, you have to miss 1 week. You have to miss 1 week. Yeah, same with Darcy Graham. Okay, Darcy Graham will be back as well.
All good. Finn Russell comes back. You're missing Darcy Graham, one of your best players. And
no, he'll be back, Darcy Graham.
You've got to be joking. You've got to. If he makes it back after that head knock, his head looked like. Okay, we'll get to it. But, yeah, I'm just saying, I think.
Well, Carl Stein is back. So.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm throwing spanners out there because I don't. You've
got optimism. It's because you've got a buddy that's a Northampton Saints fan.
Not even that.
Enjoys the English and stuff.
Not even that, right? I predicted France to win the Six Nations, and now I don't see that happening.
You're not giving Scotland a shot while you're wearing their own jersey.
Look, I'll always back the Scots, right? This is the team I want to win the Six Nations, but I'm realistic. I've always said this. I think with my head, and I just don't see it.
We'll chat about it when we get there. I don't think it's unrealistic to say that there'll be a 3-horse race, right? Like a lot of people have said, maybe England loses to Ireland, but they beat France, and then France beats Ireland. But the thing is, like France taking on Ireland at the Viva makes it a bit tough, you know.
It does make it tough,
but it does make it interesting. But this game between England and France definitely will be in the running for game of the year.
Yeah, especially that finish. That finish was incredible. Like,
yeah, it was high paced. Like Rusty actually put out a tweet yesterday where he spoke about the amount of kicks, and there was only I think it was 31 minutes of ball in play, and he was like that just and there was 15 scrums, and it's like, well, I was glued to my TV watching that. Like at some points, I wanted there to be another scrum just to give the guys a break, like just give myself a break because it was that good. It was a sensational game, and that's usually what happens when both teams aren't at their best, but there's everything to play for, right? When both teams are at their best, you'd probably look at like the 2023 World Cup final, right, where it just like evens each other out the whole time, massive hits and whatever, but it's not up and down running all over the place. So, brilliant game. Let's move on to the game that we actually just watched. Scotland versus Ireland. Oh, wow.
Yeah, Storm. The Stormers are yet to haunt me.
Vengeance.
Driving Storms.
We lost yesterday, so we're going to smash Brevan. Ireland was so good. So they were so good. Scotland did not show up. I don't know where they were. This game played out the way that I thought England-France will play out, with just like domination from the one side. Scotland can give themselves credit for being a bit clinical because they got a couple of points where I was like, they never even had the ball.
So, you know what I compare this game to, right? It reminds me of so much of the game. Was the game in November when we played Scotland and we won 32-15, right? They put up a physical battle. They were up for it for the first half. They didn't give up. There was this sense of they will do anything to hang in there, which is what they did, right? Look, Duan van der Merwe's yellow card should have been a penalty try. I don't know how.
In my opinion as well.
I don't see how that wasn't given, but it wasn't. And
I chatted to a couple of other rugby creators, and they were like, "There's no way that was a penalty try," because they're talking about the ball moved a bit quick, and
but
Tom Jordan was in the background. But I was like, Tom Jordan already
still
got
not
burned.
A clear try scoring opportunity, open try line. Like, I don't know. That's how I saw it, right? Open try line. Duan pushes him. Like,
that's guaranteed a try if he doesn't push him there.
Yeah, but anyways, I'm not here to slander anyone, the ref call or whatever. What I'm trying to say is, right, that did keep them in the game, and then they survived. They survived that maul. They start winning penalties. turnovers, and you think there's something, right? But like you said, Ireland, the hold up, yes.
2 of them.
Yeah, it was great defense, right? You got to credit them. But then, like you said, right, then the Irish brilliance starts to come in. I thought Prendergast was very good. I thought Jack Conan coming off the bench was very good. I thought
Jameson, Gibson, Aaron Smith.
Yeah. Also great. Porter, the guy within 60 odd minutes had made 16 tackles for a prop. That's the work rate we want to see props having.
The shortest prop in the world that got a charge down as well. Bro, like when he did that charge down and he sprinted after the ball, I thought it was Hornswoggle.
But yeah, but what I'm trying to say is it reminded me of that Springbok game because eventually we ran away with it, and that's exactly what Ireland did. And that's the issue with the Scots. They don't have it. They don't have it in them to hang in for 80 minutes. They don't have it.
And when you're playing against this Irish team, and I've said it a million times, right? I'm so in awe kind of how good their structure is. It just feels like such a nice fitting
There's
structure.
always a pass to be made. Have you seen? Have you noticed? There's always a pass to be made.
Yeah,
it's not
and
like
everyone on the bench, everyone just fits into that system so beautifully and stuff. And when you have a system that works like that, you don't even need to take your foot off the gas, right? You just trust what's happening in front of you, and that's what they did, right? Scotland had no room to breathe. You thought, okay, listen, held up, big momentum swing, drop it out, maybe make a tackle there, get another turnover, whatever. Ireland just didn't give it to them, and then they held it up again, and again nothing, right? Like,
yeah, there were a couple.
I was like, well done to the Scottish defense, and then on the other hand, I'm like, they are getting absolutely slaughtered out here at the moment. Like Buniaki put out an all-time stinkfest for his standards, and yet, the bad
it was
thing
still better than Hugh Jones and Jordan. Like, you get what I'm saying? It was just, I felt like they had nothing to offer.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, even with some of the guys that didn't step up for Ireland, I'm like, well, where can Scotland really capitalize? Because Ireland's got the ball the whole time. They've literally got the ball the whole time. And then obviously I'll give credit to Scotland for when they had the ball, right? That they looked decent, right? That's where they got their points. Duan van der Merwe, brilliant finish.
Great finish.
Beautiful finish there at the end. But shout out to someone, Sam Prendergast, who got absolutely slaughtered last week, right, for his performances, where people are like Jack Riley. Fair enough, Jack Riley was absolutely brilliant. Jack Riley came on to fullback today. But that performance of Sam Prendergast, I wouldn't have given him man of the match, to be fair. Like, for me, Gibson Park had to get it. But a beautiful performance. That's how you beat down the criticism that you just got as like a 21-year-old.
But that's the thing.
Wow, he looked good.
He comes into this Irish squad. It's his first proper Six Nations where he's the guy they're going to go to as their 10. Obviously, he's not going to be this Dan Carter coming in and just doing the great thing straight away. He's going to take time and he's going to adapt. And today he showed why he fits that, I keep saying, the Sexton mold so well. And is the perfect guy for Ireland because Sexton was the perfect 10 for Ireland. And you've got to give credit. He looks so calm, slots his kicks, plays the pass where he needs to play the pass. And I just, like you said, the system is so good. There's either a short runner to your right, a carry, or there's out the back. There's always something. And it's not like, and it catches teams out. So, yeah, credit to them. Their system is rock solid and they made that look very easy. Yeah. Very easy.
They were literally in cruise control.
Yeah.
There's no other way to sum it up. And we're not even trying to say this disrespectfully to Scotland, right? Like, you have to give credit to Scotland for their defense. But when you get hammered like that, scoreline, I don't even think the scoreline reflects the game. Like, if you look at the held-ups and everything, it could have been even worse because Ireland were not clinical enough at the start. Yeah. Let's move on to the final one. Italy beating Wales again. It could have been an interesting end to the game. I don't know if you managed to watch the end of.
Caught a bit of it, not the end, but I did catch a bit of it.
Yeah, like Scotland were far behind, right? Like, I think they were behind like 22-3 or something.
Wales, eh?
Wales were behind like 22-3. Scored 2 tries at the end, of which like one was a penalty try, which forced the kickoff as well. And then Wales tried to go up the other end and score, but they got themselves a bonus point in the end. Italy scoring 1 try, the rest all just penalties from Tommaso Allen. Wales dropping to 12th in the world rankings, lowest that they've ever been. I think Georgia has now gone above them.
Ouch. Georgia went above them, eh?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on it, but I do believe they have, because that was talk of the week.
That's not good. Because again, I don't see them gaining that position anytime soon. Wait, you said they're going to beat someone, and I'm still waiting for who that someone is. And are you sticking by it? Maybe we'll get there when we get there, and you can tell me who you thought it might be.
Well, I thought it's going to be Scotland. Scotland's not been looking great.
Look, but then again, we'll see. We'll see. Well, we don't know what's going to happen. But look, ultimately, Italy, right? Again, a team where weird team. That's all I can really say. Just they handled their business very well. Good home win, 22 points to 16, and I think they've secured themselves 5th.
15. 22 points to 15.
Oh, sorry,
Wales
22 15.
Wales couldn't win the game at the end.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think Italy again. They've got some superstars in that team, but at the same time, not enough. You know, there's just I feel like the lack of quality is high, and Wales again. Is this dampening Gatland's career? I genuinely think
yes. If I was Gatland, right, he should have been sacked, right? I don't like saying guys should have been sacked, right? But at some point, you gotta. You go full calendar year without winning, a full calendar and a half years without
I saw
winning.
A tweet.
Then you have to put up some self-respect and say, listen, it's time for me to walk. Like, I am not doing it justice.
I saw a tweet, right, from a guy. I think he's an ex-Welsh player. I think he can't remember the exact name. I think he's an ex-Welsh player. He said, and I quote, if I'm quoting this 100%, he said, in my opinion, Ospreys beat Wales at the moment. Like,
yeah, because Gatland doesn't pick his correct players, right? Like Ospreys is usually the big one,
and people were agreeing with it. Like, it's not like it was a troll; it was a genuine thing where this guy thought he thinks Ospreys, or it was one of the Welsh teams, beats Wales, and I'm like,
probably Cardiff at the moment because it's like
and it's just like
the Cardiff boys,
a scary thought, right?
Cam Willett and Max Llewellyn is sitting there and thinking, what should I have done to get into this team? Anscombe, where's he? Right, like it's at some point the board has had to make this decision. Like I saw posts on Instagram and stuff of people asking the question, is it time for Gats to go? And I'm like, well, we've said it a couple of times. It's been time to go a long time ago.
Yeah.
How can you be asking that question now? Like that question could have been asked if you wanted to ask it for the 12th time. You could have asked it after the calendar year that just passed when you didn't win a game.
Yeah.
Why are you asking this 2 games into the next 6 nations? And if they don't let him go, he has to walk for his own career, for his own whatever. Maybe he can still scrub a job here or there. At the moment, bro.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Let's be honest.
Is this the epitome of living long enough to see yourself become a villain?
Pretty much, right? It's Jamie Carragher, right? Leave the football before the football leaves you. You know, it's like you've got to You've got
Yeah,
to
well,
think like,
you can see, but it's so true, right? You can see they're just
look,
so off the base. They don't know what they're doing. They've got talent, but that talent doesn't even get selected. Everyone can see it.
obviously, look, I think Wales do lack a lot of quality, right? They don't have exactly the best star-studded lineup like they used to. But at the same time, they've got some good players there, and I feel like they should be beating Italy. Like I think they should be with the team, with the players they have.
Yeah,
Yes,
Brevin, they never had that team where it was like world class
yeah,
superstars everywhere.
but they
It
had a
was
good
always been they've
nitty-gritty
had a
team.
couple, right? And then was a team that really
Yeah,
gelled, played for each other, ugly victories, but always got it done.
and you
Nothing
used to
like
hate playing against them away because they always used to bring the
yeah.
best out of you. You'd have to bring your best or you'd lose. They've won a Grand Slam not too long ago. It was in like
21.
21, bro. 4 years, and you're telling me you went from Grand Slam champions, semi-finalists in 2019 to this. It's abysmal. It really is. They could have been finalists if they had beaten us, and we obviously yes we won, but they easily could have been victors on that day if Damien Delende didn't pull something out his ass. Like
Yeah. If Andre Pollard missed the kick.
it's correct. Like people, how can you go from being a potential World Cup final contender in 5 years to being this? It just there's been a complete collapse in Welsh rugby, I think, and it's so
Bro, not
sad.
even the 5 years. It's more like Grand Slam champions, and 3 years later, look at this.
Crazy.
Bro,
Crazy.
really absolutely crazy. Anyway, let's wrap it up. People, thank you for watching. We do appreciate you guys. Please do remember to hit that like and subscribe button. And we will see you either Wednesday or Friday. Maybe both. We don't know. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, bye-bye. Ciao.